All right. Today today is today is Sunday. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. It is November 23rd, 2025. I must have said I must have counted the years like 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. So it has been 5 long years. Okay, it's 5 long years. I can imagine. I can imagine the individuals who are incarcerated. Okay, I can just imagine. I suppose it's a mindset. Does the incarceration occur in certain locations? Okay, what is incarceration? Okay, incarceration. I suppose when a person is incarcerated, the the terminology uh, becomes a definitive understanding of what that means. Incarceration, right? So in the movie Papillon, when I first saw it, it was a very, very long movie. It's a slow and very, very long movie. And ultimately, there's these two main characters. And one of them wants to like escape by jumping into the ocean and escaping, right? And the other one knows better of the dangers of jumping into the ocean. And but he goes along with it because what else are they gonna do? Okay, they're incarcerated. So, if I look at it from the perspective of what incarceration is, essentially, incarceration starts at birth and it ends at death. Okay? Incarceration incarceration starts at birth and ends at death. Okay? All these people who hold things, all these people, okay, all these people who are on YouTube, who are all in politics, who are world leaders, who are God's messengers, all, every one of them, people who are executives, people who are slaves, who uh, churn the what do you call it, the mud, uh, the clay, just churn the clay and mix in uh, with uh, with plant based things so that they can make bricks. They toil away, they build pyramids, and all the world is essentially living from being incarcerated from birth to death. That's how everybody lives. People who are grandmasters, people who are mothers and fathers and children's, people who are born and people who pay taxes, everyone on existence. Okay? People who drive cars, people who are the president of the United States of America, the most powerful office in the whole wide world. The president of the United States has the most powerful position here on earth. Okay? On the theology side, the Pope has the most powerful position on earth. Okay? So they are placed in a situation where they enter into that position and then they exit that position. And within that time, despite the fact that there are different sceneries behind it, one fact remains. It is a position encased in the definition of what that thing really is. Now, I was studying Albrook's. That's what I usually do on the weekends, and I should be back testing and thinking more in terms of how I'm going to approach the next day. Okay, so how am I going to approach the next day? All right. So I've been thinking about that, and then I happened I looked at maybe 4 or 5 different people on YouTube. Okay, one of them is like has been profitable at 6 months, 9 months. The person is a young chap in America who is profitable in 9 months as a day trader. And then there's another person who's on YouTube, and this person wasn't profitable for about 10 years. Okay? But now the person is massively profitable, but it took them a very long time to get profitable. And then there are people who are online who are still working on being profitable. Okay? So then, if we are in a situation where we are being corralled into the situation, then I thought to myself, okay, so if I am preoccupied in a state of mind where I am not to the point where I am, then essentially I'm being corralled into one location and then I'll be corralled into another location. So I thought to myself, what is required? What is required to be profitable? Okay? What is required to be profitable? So I've been thinking about this. What is required to be profitable? What is it? Okay? What specific thing is required to be profitable? What is it? What's required? Okay? My body is the same, okay? But whatever is in this part, this brain, there are programming, the software that's in the brain is the only difference between being profitable and not profitable. And whoever can put that knowledge into the brain, however long it takes, is the only factor in becoming profitable. And so the person who knows is profitable. Person who doesn't know is not profitable. When a person starts out, that knowledge is not there. So whoever places that knowledge into the brain fastest becomes profitable fastest. And the only thing that's different about the brain is the mindset. Okay? It's the mindset. The way that the mind is set. That's the only difference. That is the only difference between being profitable and not profitable. Everything remains the same. Everything remains the same. But what is different is the brain chemistry that places certain synapses together to form a certain amount of experiences into the brain and architect it in the brain, places it into a structure that grasps it out. So if I were to do a mind map, of a person who is profitable, okay? So why did I talk about incarceration? I talked about it being an incarceration because incarceration is the mind from the beginning to the point where I become profitable is the incarceration phase, okay? And then once I become profitable, then it's a different type of incarceration, right? Because the mind has been programmed into a condition where the mind is able to properly be in sync with the market, and the edge has already been programmed into the mind so that when the brain sees something, it recognizes what to do in order to generate a profit. So what is a memory map that allows profitability? What is the memory? So the mind, here's the mechanics of it. Okay? I see a chart. I recognize it. I place a trade. And then a trade turns positive because my memory map has taken the proper action. It's like, it's like a flip of a coin. It's a flip of a coin. But the flip of a coin has a statistical probability steerable based on what I see and what I process in my mind. So when the market is saying it's heads or tails, okay, the market has a flip of a coin, but the flip of a coin is predictable. The flip of a coin, it's a flip of a coin. The flip of a coin is predictable. Okay? The flip, it's a flip of a coin, right? The market is a flip of a coin. Right? It'll either go up, it'll either go up or it'll come back down. It's a flip of a coin. Okay? The market is a flip of a coin. But based on what I see, when it's about to flip, I can recognize the characteristics of how it's going to flip based on how I observe it. Okay? So then I can architect my brain into so it's trading is essentially placing a statistical probability on the result of a coin flip. So essentially, the market is truly a coin flip, but there is a way to statistically steer how I observe. Okay, how I observe. So when a coin is flipped, it's not going to automatically just slap right there immediately. It's going to flop around. Okay, it's going to flop around and then end up down based on the way the statistical. So if I observe it, right? So if I were to write a software with a camera on all different angles, and then I write a software on the behavior of it, the gravity and all that stuff, and the specific center of gravity, the specific center of gravity, the altitude, the humidity, okay, and the way that it twirls around, how it bounces, and the angle of how the coin interacts with the edge of the angle, and it flops around, then there's a statistical probability of predicting how the coin will ultimately end up. So the market has a series of coin flips. It is essentially a coin flip. It goes up, face up. It goes down, face down. Oh my God! And so the major trend reversal is a point where it is like this. It's going to do this, but it flips the other way, right? Okay, so if it's tails like this, then it's going to go flip down like that. So there's a probability. There is a statistical probability of predicting. It's predicting based on how the market steers itself to exhibit what it's going to do. And then once I get into it, based on what I see, just like reacting, right? People talk about reacting, not forcing it. Reacting. Forcing means that when it's going down, I'm thinking it's going up. But reacting is observing it, and then I see the reaction. I see the reaction of a support, and then I take it. Okay, then I have a statistical probability, such as if a coin lands like this, right? If a coin like this is the edge, and a coin lands like that, it's gonna bounce like this, and chances are it's gonna fall this way. But if it falls here and that's the tail, it's gonna be a tail. So there's a statistical probability when that happens that it is steerable based on the reaction. Okay, the market. If you force it, it's forcing. But if you react, this is a reaction. If I go with it, it's a reaction. Okay, it's a reaction. But if I force it, I'm doing this, right? I don't want to force it. I want to react to it. So really, the market is a flip of a coin. How do I best put it? It's a flip of a coin. It's a coin toss. It's a coin toss. Market is a coin toss.